Good evening, televiewers. You welcome to this other edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime. Once again, we are going to be talking about how to fix our respective relationships. Today, we are focusing on the role that parents and friends should play in our relationships. Also, looking at the place of privacy in couples. Should couples keep privacies or have privacies or secrets amongst themselves, fully knowing that the Bible says that the two have become one, and so we find out what the limitations to the oneness in the couple. We are going to be discussing this with our panelists who already are seated in the house. Pastor Alfred Isinger is in the house with us. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. We're excited to be here again today. It's another wonderful day, and we're going to be as practical as anything ever. So don't think you're going to give you theories here. We're going to give you practical things and everything. And I greet my senior apostle that is sitting right there that's going to be able to give us much, Apostle Lambe.
Okay, as announced already, Apostle Lambe Valentine Gwa is in the house with us. He is also an expert on relationship issues, especially when we talk of couples. He's an author of 2 books talking on this. We're glad to have you with us, Apostle.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Cameroonians and viewers of Prime Hour. It's always a joy to be here to contribute to the mental development and otherwise in our nation. I want to salute my co-panelists, Apostle Alfred Isinger, and I want to greet all those who are fixed on their screens tonight to get very vital information that will help better our lives and our marriages.
Okay, we are waiting the arrival of Apostle Lefort Divine from Boya and Edith Enonchong, who should be joining us very shortly. But Apostle Lambe, I will start by asking you the reason for which you posted on your Facebook handle this afternoon, saying that after all, people should respect the Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul. Why?
You know, we don't give out information because it favors us, because the information is good. That something doesn't favor you does not mean it's not right. I've been a very strong opposition as far as the minister's move in the country is concerned, but I think when something is done in bravery, we have to appreciate it, because it's difficult to find men like that in the society. You and I know Bafut is one of the hearts of the Amazonian War of Independence and the crisis going on right now. And the Dios building was brought down by the boys some few years ago, and so renovations took place, and the minister was there today right on ground. And I've never seen any minister in this country that goes practical like the Minister of Territorial Administration. He goes to the field, he does the job, he's bold enough to confront the lion even in its den. And I think such efforts of bravery should be applauded and appreciated, even if you might not like him, but there is something in him that is speaking very, very loudly.
Okay, we are going to start with you, Pastor Alfred. I hope I'm not making an error, because I hear you call him apostle, I call you pastor. What's the right?
You knew me as a pastor.
Okay, now you're an apostle.
Anyhow you like it, just address it the way you want.
Yes, I think that should not be undermining the office of...
It's not an undermining, it's just a matter of understanding. The pastor, the apostle, the prophet, all of those are pastors.
Help me now.
We are just there.
Facilitate my task. Okay, Apostle, let us start with what is the place of parents in a relationship?
Very, very important. Very, very important, especially when it comes to the African tradition. Customs and tradition, the parents are very, very useful.
Okay.
Now, even though you see youths have decided to put aside parents for certain things, especially when they want to talk about the feelings they feel for one another, they say no, parents are not important. But we'll say that most of our youths are suffering today, and most marriages are going astray because the parents were put aside. And you know, we used to say that a parent cannot choose a spouse for us. Well, that's true to an extent, but to another extent, I think the parents can play a very vital role when it comes to selecting the choice of wife or husband for you. Because of what? They can see some things that you cannot see. At the time where you're so emotional, at the time where you're so full of yourself, at the time where you're so full with that particular body chemistry, your parents are settled and composed enough to see some behaviors and some attitudes. And they can tell you that if you continue like this, you are going to go astray. But what happens? The youth will refuse to do that because of juvenile delinquency, excitement, body chemistry, some kind of things. Because of that, homes are suffering today. Our parents play a very wonderful role. In as much as I support the fact that our parents play a very vital role in marriages, in our families, I will also say that they have a certain extent they should go to. They shouldn't cross certain extents, like trying to take some kind of vital decisions to change family, to affect certain things, or how much they should give them. Because I know of certain people that their parents say that they should put them under a salary, and they even name the amount of what they're supposed to give them, and some other kind of things. Those kind of extents are not good. A parent will come and will say that he decides to sleep in the room of the husband and the wife, let them go to sleep in the parlor. Then when he or she goes back, then they will go back to their room. All those kind of things are really out of place. And I want to say that these things are happening today, and they are destroying a lot of homes because parents don't know their limits. Though they are needed, though they are very important in families, they also have a limit. They should not go to some certain extents. They should not cross some certain extents. Like, I think that parental counsel and guidance comes in when people are about to get married. Parental counsel and guidance comes in when people are about to get married. Immediately they get married, parents shift and give them some space to live on their own. When problems begin to come in, they are now free to come in to say, what? Now, this is how you should go. They should be like advisors. They should be like coaches. They should be like people to help their children achieve, but not to impose on them in time of crisis. And that's exactly what I think. Because when we forget the aspect of parents playing roles in our marriages, in our homes, we'll find ourselves getting friends around us that are going to pull us down. Yours truly, my own parents, my mother was very instrumental when I was about to get married. My mother was very instrumental. She played a very vital role. As a matter of fact, she even ran around to look for money to support me, and this on and so on and so on. And she was able to look at some behaviors and some characters from some people and tell me that these people are not good people. These people are bad people. Now take note. It's when you get into this family, these are the kind of people you should not work with, or this is the kind of people you should not work with. And I think it was a very good advice. From the beginning, I learned it. But the only thing is that because I'm a spiritual leader, I have learned to deal with everybody. No matter how bad you are, I have learned to deal with everybody. But it's not everybody that has the skill to deal with everybody. Because even to relate or operate in a relationship, you need a skill. You need a very powerful skill to deal with families, because it's not easy. Now, but the problem is that many young people who get married, or many married people, they go to the extent of doing what? Allowing their parents to come in and monopolize the home. Either to torment the wife or to despise the husband. And that is where problems come in. Not that they are not needed, they are needed, but they are needed to a certain extent. And that must be able to handle.
Yes, what's your place? We are talking about parents as far as relationships are concerned.
Well, Mr. Leo, the place of parents in relationship cannot be overemphasized. It's very important, and we cannot minimize it. One, because they are more experienced in life. They've gone through some things that most of the youngsters have not gone through. They can be able to look at some traits in a man and be able to tell if the man will make a good husband or a bad one, and look at a woman and tell if she's going to make a good wife or a bad wife. But you see, to some extent, greed is what drives most of our parents. Parents will tell you how much they've invested in a child, and then when they look at the person who's coming to get married to the child, they look at the person for the now. They look at the person for the future. And because of that, they start making decisions for a child based on what the person is right now, while the girl is seeing something that the person will become in the future. Because most of the times, I know women look into the soul of men, not actually their pocket. They say you're a prostitute. And if you are building a relationship that you want to last for quite a long time, I think you're going to be looking at the man's dream, not the man's dress. Many girls will go after a man's dress instead of his dream. What you wear today is not as important as what you are thinking about tomorrow. People should pursue the drive of men, not the attire of men. And since most girls who are very smart enough to look inside a man's soul and understand where the man is going to in future, they can pick a future in a man who the parents they will not see. A parent will definitely be thinking of how much he has invested in a child, and then be looking as a means of harvesting what they've invested. The truth is, marriage should not be a means of recompense for what you have invested in a child. Because most parents come with that mentality. The child is not a product that you invested in and you want to get profit out of it. And this is where most of the challenges come when parents come in to make a choice. To me, I don't see the role of a parents or the role of parents too much when it comes to selecting a partner. I can see them only being invited in a home to give guidance when things seem not to be going very well. Because when it comes to making choices, parents are very commercial. I'm telling you, they are very commercial. They will want to make interest for what they have invested into. And that's why you see some communities, they say when a girl is educated, the bride price increases. The sole motive is a commercial stuff. It's not practically vision driven or dream driven. It is commercially driven. This girl has gone to school, we spent on her, she has master's degree, the bride price is 7.5 million francs. That is an exchange. It's a good exchange for what you have invested. And with that kind of mentality, a man can deliberately pay that money and then choose to give that girl hell on earth tomorrow.
Exactly.
And this is why I must be sincere. I must be sincere to tell ladies and gentlemen watching this program that do not involve your parents too much. What they owe you is what they owe you in any courtship or relationship is prayer, and then they can only suggest some things to you which you have to also ascertain them based on the person. For instance, a person like me, when I went to get married, my wife's family said they are losing their sister because there was an epitome of poverty. As a matter of fact, the girl saw in me greatness, but what was around me was total failure. So the greatness is there, it's manifesting today, but nobody could see it. I had people who hated me because I came to marry in that family, and now that I have prospered, they still hate me because it's shame. Yes. But that lady was able to see that thing, treasure in that trash. So a woman has the capacity to look into the soul of a man. That's the reason why when God created Eve, and Adam was still fast asleep, the woman saw first. So it is women that actually see the man they want to spend their future with. How do you explain a girl would deny a man that has a car and expect a man that has a bike? Because he's seen that that car may not have a destiny. But this man on a bike, I've looked within him. He has a potential that can take two of us.
Why don't you also look at it from the other way around?
I'm talking about the persons in question.
Yes, you are looking at the man wanting to get married to a woman, and they consider that, okay, we've invested. Why don't you also think that the parents of the guy may think that they've invested so much in the girl? Because in the guy, the guy should not get married to
in every rule there's an exception. The rule is that it's always the woman. Because they believe they're the one giving you something. You are coming to collect something from them. The man's investment is never considered. That's the simple truth. On most occasions, it is a woman they mostly consider as a person that they are selling out. Even if the man has a PhD, he has 700 cars, so it's not a concern. The issue is, have you ever had a society where a man's bride price or a man's bride price was reduced because he's too much educated? Not like that. But a woman's bride price has been increased in situations because of her level of education. That is to tell you the person who is being sold in between the man and the woman is a woman. And if parents are allowed to commercialize the giving of their daughters, I can tell you a man can choose to buy your child. And when that man buys that child, the child will pay back all the money the man used to buy him on the wedding.
Yeah, but haven't you seen cases where the family will also think that they've invested so much in their son, and they think that the daughter is not worthy of their son? We've seen cases like that.
Yes, a lot of cases out there that a guy goes to get married to a particular girl from a particular background, like a broke background, and you get the son, the man's family saying that she's a gold digger, her family's a gold digger. They're coming. She's in love with the guy because maybe she wants him to upgrade the family, or they're seeing that he's going to spend all his money upgrading the girl's family. So it's not only about the girl, but I feel like most women face that. A lot of women face that in the hands of their husbands or their fiancés' families, because they always feel that a woman, because normally, so there's a saying that when a man does not get married to his wife alone, he gets married to the entire family.
Of course.
So when the moment you're married in a family that is not well to do, they know that the money of your husband goes to the aunties, the mother, the sisters, because you're not married to the woman alone. But a woman does not really have that much to contribute in the family of her husband. Very few women will like give out the support, you know, to maybe spend money on their husband's family. And on the other hand, also when you see a woman spending money in the husband's family, you know, maybe it's the husband giving her, maybe to show that good face, that she's not a selfish woman, she's not self-centered, she's concerned about the husband's family. But majority of the cases, women face this particular issue of, especially when the man is from a rich family, you know, when he's educated and the lady is not really in the same class in society. You know, there's always the saying like, she's a gold digger, she's getting married to this rich person because she wants her family to be upgraded. And it's to me, it's just parents. It comes back to the fact that parents are not supposed to choose your husband or your wife, and parents do not really have that power in a relationship. Like Apostle rightly said, you can suggest, they can give suggestions, they can give advice, but they should not control the relationship. And to me, if you have an advice, if things are really going wrong, the couples should have like a spiritual someone in their life, either a man of God that will always give them counseling. They should invest in the relationship. When I talk about investment, what I mean is they should invest in going for counseling, marriage counseling. They should watch programs like this, you know, that will help them in their mindset. Because going to parents, some parents are very biased. Some will support their sons. They forget to understand that, or their daughters, they forget to understand that marriage is a union of two forgivers and two forgetters. They will take sides of their sons. Okay, I brought my son up this way and he's not like this. Maybe the fraud is your daughter. They also forget to understand that these two people, they're brought up by two different parents under two different roofs. So they're coming together now to how can I put it, to blame. And it's not very easy. And I always get my pastor saying that if you succeed in getting the first 3 years in your marriage, means you can make it for life, because the first 3 years is never easy. Because both of you have a lot of conflicts because of the two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, two different ideas, and so on and so forth. So parents should just only help in the suggestions and a little bit of advice.
Okay. Apostle Lefford Fine is in the studio with us. They call him the Love Doctor, all the way from Boya. You are here. The place of parents. Should the boy always run to the mother or the father that daddy, mommy, this is the person I have to marry, this is how she is, this is what she did, and then should the lady also do same?
It is a shameful thing.
Okay.
It's a shameful thing for a married person to run to their parents for in such circumstances.
Okay.
You see, the Bible says a man shall leave his father and mother. You see, this living is not just talking about leaving a compound. Living, this is something that any man who has not left his father and mother is not qualified to marry. It is very clear a man must leave his father. You see, why we have a problem today in many marriages is because the married participants are still cleaving to their parents. Instead, he said you must leave and cleave. In fact, they prove you are ready. I always say this, that one of the proofs you are qualified to marry is your ability to make a choice independent of your parents. In fact, parents need to train their children and understand that they must make the choice themselves. I never encourage a marriage where the parent, it's not the parents marrying. It's not like I was listening to Apostle but I say some wonderful things here. There is something you must understand. That parent cannot see the future. Girls are more intuitive. Yes. Parents can't see the future. A father, you cannot come and talk about faith to a parent. You are a parent. What I know it. I am a parent. A young man comes here and is talking about his faith in the future. No, even the Bible says that every man live by his faith. His faith. It does not. It means I need to see. For example, a parent will need to see, where are you carrying my daughter to? these things are real. So let's be very practical. That is why the Bible itself says a man must live. In fact, we have a lot of problems. In fact, when you study the reasons why relationships break, they say the first thing is money and money-related issues. Second, we'll have to talk about that in this place. Second is intimacy issues, which we'll also still talk about, and we have been talking about. The third is always external influence, parents and friends. That is the third reason why marriages crash worldwide. It's a whole study. You understand? I'm the love doctor, and that's what we do. We are trying to cure cases here. That's why we have gathered here. We are looking at this thing. It is very important. So I believe that both parents, and like my sister here said something, there is something which we are going to look at. Thank God we have time. When people have finally made the choice, advice should even come before. Once the person has made that choice, they should only seek your advice before you offer it. You have no right as a parent to offer advice that was not sought. It is no longer your business. Go and focus on your own wife. It is not your business if it is sought. And I want to say here, not every parent is qualified to give marriage advice.
Yes.
Just because they are parents. And it is very important. I thank God for our pastor here who is celebrating his mother. I mean, his mother might have all the insight and everything, but I want to say this is not a general rule. Many parents, sometimes even the wife might be more insightful, or the mother or the father. But let me and when we start talking about roles of who should guide, you will understand that word. For example, there are many relationships that have scattered because, like for me, what I did was this, and I always advise every couple who come for consulting, that before, if you want to survive, have a person that both of you revere the same way. Have somebody. I'm saying this because, for example, you will see a couple. For example, you put a couple, and then you hear the man say, "Let's go and meet my mom." The person say, "Finish. When you don't finish here, mommy, we'll go for my papa." That means the day they are talking to the other place, the woman is just, we come across the person is just say, I'll come across the way. Remember, if you're a pastor, you see, have you ever casted somebody who maybe the wife is in your church, then the husband is not there. As you are talking to the husband is just look at you. When you don't finish, we'll go for my own pastor, or we'll go for my own place. You understand? So I believe couples, the best way they should do, they should have somebody, whether it's a marriage counselor, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a spiritual advisor, but somebody, both of them revere the same. I told my wife, this is the one man, the day, I say, the day, I'm telling somebody, anytime we meet, even the person you are having a relationship with, tell the lady, tell your spouse, tell your to-be wife, the day we cannot relate, this is the man we should go and see. And both of you should be comfortable. That means that man should say something and both of you follow and not think he's biased. Because when we have, most of the reason why parents come is that whether you like it or not, parents will often take sides. They would often take sides. They can even take sides. Some don't even trust but their own son. No. They can take sides with the wife. So it goes both ways. So I believe that a relationship that will be stable, they should have somebody both can look for advice from, and not every parent is qualified to give advice.
That is very, very, I don't know, it's happening almost everywhere. It is difficult for anybody to talk about the mother-in-law and the wife talk so good about them both ways. What is wrong with this mother-in-law issue? People think that most of them are trouble breeders in the homes. They are very difficult to accommodate. Is it not true? Are you not receiving complaints on that?
Of course.
Yes. What is wrong with the wife and the mother-in-law?
You know,
they both want to show is it dominion over the son or the man?
Am I the one?
Yes.
Okay. The truth is, you know, a man's first wife is the mother.
This one is complicated.
Yes.
I really want to hear that story.
Now, what you call it wife, maybe you want to use another word.
Closest partner.
The first woman in his life.
That's
yes,
what
that's it. I think the first woman
a man's
in his
first wife. Let me use the word wife. is because I'm telling you the truth. A man's first wife is the mother. The man learns to eat from the mother. He gets the order from the mother. He has a bond. That's the first breast.
That he sucked.
He sucked
Before
coming to suck the wife's breast. So these two persons are feeding this man with the same breast.
Don't spoil us.
You don't want me to speak.
No, I'm just joking. If I'm really some breast, I don't want you to talk about it. That's what he's doing.
There is a bond with every man and the mother. Now, when that bond is there, women never let go their sons. Take it or you leave it. They never let go their sons, even when the son is married. That dominion, that influence, that control that she had over the son. When the guy gets married, another woman comes in the picture. So two persons now want to run this same property. Now, the woman may not be speaking what the mother is saying. The mama wants that control that she has always had. And the control that she's trying to bring, this woman does not want her husband to be controlled in that capacity. That is where there will be a traffic jam. When both of them clash over this man, the mother will say, if at all you suck the body, the girl will say, if at all you are still sucking this body.
Okay, the girl will tell the man.
He will tell, because both of them are feeding him. They are breastfeeding him. One breastfeeding him, the other is still breastfeeding him. It's not we are joking. There is this war because two persons are over the same person. And you know something? A woman does not want any man or woman or any personality that tries to dominate the husband. Because to her, she will feel like you are trying to influence the man not to allow her play her role in the house. Can you imagine a mother-in-law can come into a house and there's a wife, the mother wants to cook? Mama wants to cook because why? She has always been the cook. And this girl cannot sit and watch another person cook for her husband. So two women are fighting over one man, not erotically, not romantically, but somehow in terms of ownership. The woman is owning the man, the mother-in-law is owning the man. Now, when the man has an opportunity to spend money, the woman is eyeing the money as the husband's money, the mother is eyeing the money as the son's money. Somebody said, if your wife and your mother are drowning in a sea, and you have a chance to save one, which will you save?
Is this something you think?
Which will you save? I asked that question something and I got very terrible answers. To me, I will save my wife.
You let go of your mother.
Now I will save my wife. My mother has lived her life. My wife, we are still living our life. Women feed two generations. They feed the past generation, which is their husband.
Yeah, but in this case, you are trying to describe the situation. But in this case, what should be the limitation of the mother-in-law so that the things?
That's what I'm explaining now.
Yes,
that's what I'm explaining.
I'm
giving you the reason why they are clashing
yes,
over a man.
Yes, but how do we make sure that the relationship, the guy survives? These two women who are fighting for.
It's as simple as ABC. If a man does not want the mother to clash over him with the wife, it's simple. Make your mother know her new place. You are not the boy she used to have. This time around, you are a woman's husband. You are no longer that boy she used to toast to and fro. This is my house. I've seen men send their mothers out of the house because they want to scatter their homes.
Okay, good evening to you, Mohammed Ali, and to you, Rice Wood, Terence Nebangu. Good evening to you, Odette Shea, Georgiana Enanga. Good evening to you, Ernestine Azuka, Agu Regel Temben. Good evening to you, Anita Eno, Somo Ajong, Frederick Riboya. Good evening to you, Chi Valentine, Tangi Banks. Good evening to you, Nji Ecclesiastis, Amos Mui, Tabot Rapper, David Chamba, Nicole Ojong, Nick, and to you, Bowie Francis, all of you watching us via social media, Sylvester Godi Buo, Ayang Miranda. Good evening to all of you. Now, how do we fix this? Is it possible? He says that it is time enough for the guy to tell the mother that, Mom, I'm a grown-up, I'm running my house, so you have to take your position. You better take good care of my father in the house. And
Of course.
but is it easy? Can you do that?
No, actually,
Especially to some women that are very domineering, who love their sons so much.
yes. You know, this thing is everything being equal. We're trying to look at everything being equal. It's not every man
Situation,
that has
yeah.
that kind of opportunity, because some of them had parents, like had mothers, but they never lived around their mother, that kind of a thing. So their mother is far. But it depends on the kind of mother we are talking here. If that mother is the one that, you know, Bishop was explaining here, obviously we will know that it's a very difficult task to manage. Very, very difficult. Now, what we do is, we used to talk about settlement. Settle your mother. When you get your mother busy, she won't have time for you. Most of these young boys, immediately you get married, you forget about your mother.
Aye.
The mother will be struggling to get to you, and then, yes, most of them, when they get married, they forget about their mother.
Yeah, I get the point.
Because the love they are facing and the kind of fine atmosphere they're having with their wife makes them to do what? To forget about the mother. And especially when the woman is also very controlling or domineering. What happens is that this boy is forced to forget their mother. We talk about these things every day, and we see them every day in the field. We see people who have never gone to their village for 15 years, and their mother is there. They have been talking on phone, they have been sending things to the village, but they have never. Now, those kind of mothers will not mind, because they are the kind of village type that they are more comfortable in the village than in the township. So they won't come and begin to drag these things. But not with our educated mothers of today. Educated mothers are the most possessive mother-in-law you can ever think about. When the educated mothers come in, they claim because they know, and they have carried their child through school and so many other things, and the vision and the plan they have for their son begins to make them to want to grow out of mind. And that's exactly what the problem is. Now look at this. Like, when I want to give this advice for every young man. Whenever you want to marry, be patient. Patience is what is lacking in the lives of young people when they want to marry. You want to hurry this thing, and you create relationship only with your woman, and you don't know that you're going to marry a family also. You push aside the mother, you push aside the father, even the brothers and the sisters. You don't care about them. All you are looking at is the woman you want to marry. And that's why you see there will be a problem, because some people will feel left out. They will feel that you don't mind about them. You don't care. Because how will you come to your in-laws places, to your in-laws house at one point in time? You cannot even come with one bunch of plantains. You cannot even come with something. All you can come is that we have come. I came with my husband. We are going back, and this kind of a thing. Maybe you just give a 500 or a 1,000. There are small kids around that house that you're supposed to give, which the kids are not only considered by the kids themselves, but the mother is also watching to see what is going to happen. The parents are very smart. They watch your behavior and your attitude, the way you behave, especially when you get married. Because they'll tell you, they say you don't change. So nobody so will be know you. Now, so you don't marry, you don't change. You don't go with time again. And it always happens like that. Now, this umbilical cord issue, this thing that mothers are tight, we call it electra complex. You know, for the men, they call it the Oedipus complex. When the men are tight. No, okay, we call it Oedipus complex when the men are tied with their mother. Then we call it Electra complex when the girls are tied with their father. Because obviously these particular things are always happening. The girls are usually tied with their father, while the men are usually tied with their mother. Obviously it's like that. So when they say a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to the wife. Now, do we say that the wife is also going to remain with the parents? Because we do not hear the other side of the wife that the wife is also going to leave. No. The cleaving is going to come and create you to join with that family. It means that you are becoming part of the new family you're coming in. It's part of it. Now, Jacob, who worked for 14 years to get the wife, what was the problem? Do you think he could not drag that wife and fool the wife and start sleeping with the wife and then take the wife after 2 years and go away? No, he didn't do that. He took time to win the heart of Laban. He won Laban to an extent where it was Laban that was begging him now not to go away. Please stay with us. Why would young boys and girls not be patient to win over the heart of their in-laws?
I should stay 14 years in my
Yes, can you imagine? So look at this thing. Now, you cannot marry a woman alone. No, you cannot marry a woman alone.
Okay,
you can't marry a woman alone.
Yes.
Mr. Leonard, I want to say it here. I don't buy this idea one bit.
Okay.
I want to say it here.
Yes.
That most at the times, true, many children are marrying today. When I say children, I'm not talking about age. Many babies are marrying. But I want to say it here. Majority of the reason why many babies are marrying is not because of age. It's because our parents, especially African parents, didn't train us to release us. They were not training they were not training a child to release one day. They were raising a person to continuously control. And this is the error we make. The moment, that is why a person will travel abroad. He's 42 years old. He's still sending money to his father. His father says, send money, we go build a house for corner our house. They are sending the money. I don't want to find a small girl for this thing where you go marry him. How is this thing happening? I want to say this. We raised babies, and then when it came to the time when they were supposed to act like men, we expect them to act like men when they are not men. So it begins from these parents. And I want to say it here, that I am not marrying a family. I am marrying a person. But listen, no, let's be very clear. I am marrying a person. And this is where the African complexity problems come from.
Then you have to relocate to the Western world.
Yes, no.
To relocate?
No.
Yes.
Let him land, please.
No,
Let him
no,
land.
let me
He says he does not agree with my point. So I'm trying to tell him that he has to relocate to the Western world.
Yes, no, I want
the
to.
culture of Africans, you have to be involved with your family.
Yeah, no, I am not
Relocate
saying,
yourself
no,
to your
please.
family.
This is not saying you neglect your wife's family. I don't neglect my family nor my wife's family. But they don't do it an obligation. I'm saying this because we struggle because our parents, when you are marrying, their offense is that you did not end up the way they thought. Most of the times we have this problem because most of the times these people don't look like, most parents are trying to force their unfulfilled dreams on their children. They are forcing their unfulfilled dreams. So anytime they look at their child going a road they did not think that their child will go, they feel so offended, and most of the time they try to pass this down, especially, and then they get annoyed with that woman because the woman is supporting that rubbish. So most of the times that domineering effect is because.
Do you think that mother-in-laws are a problem?
I want to say this, please. One minute before I say this.
Yes.
I don't think so, because my mother-in-law is not a problem.
Okay.
Because you got married to a believing family.
No, I'm saying that
To people who know God already, so they can't do that to you. No, get married to an unbeliever and see what you will happen.
No, let's not.
Thank God for your situation.
I know your in-laws. They are
separate it that way.
cannot go to that
Not
kind of
every
thing.
unbeliever is.
That is what I want to say. I don't want us to. No, I don't want us to generalize that. See, that is what I want us to do. I don't want us to generalize that.
Guys say we should be more practical.
That is the point.
Following your practice.
Yes, let's be practical. See, okay, please, 1 minute.
Yeah.
I believe, I don't want us to make a generality here.
Yeah.
I want to say this. There are parents who are mature. Are you getting me? There are parents who are mature enough to understand that my child should make a choice, and they don't superimpose. When we begin to make this thing look like it's a right for them to always come in because they raise, and some even threaten and poor curses, we have a problem. I want us to put that very clear here.
Okay.
Which I will talk more about that later.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. Please tell Apostle Mbe that he was just lucky to meet a woman who truly loved him. And his destiny was carried out. Parents have a say. They have to advise. Most marriages without parents' consent end up in a fiasco. Children make the choice, but parents give their consent, and all this happens before marriage. Parents say shouldn't. Take notes so that we discuss it. Parents say shouldn't come after marriage, but before. Emma is writing from Kribi. Ask Apostle Divine, how many of these Western marriages are succeeding? We are Africans, and let's leave Africa. Okay. Yes, I'm sure he has a point here. My friend.
That's a strong point.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is Justice Longang from Edea, an interesting program today. Keep up. If I see my mom and wife drowning in water, I say first my mom. If the wife dies, then I marry another one. But I can't have another mother if she dies. After all, man is polygamous by nature. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. I can have many wives but can't have more than one mom. Love Doctor, let's speak bearing in mind that we are Africans. Good evening. Mr. Kum is Junior from Limbe. Please permit me to ask this. We have been receiving a lot of different kinds of teaching from various men of God. Should a Christian brother or sister date or go into a relationship before marriage? Because some say we should not. Some say we should. Some say we propose to the pastor and her parents before coming to the girl. Please, can Apostle Ambe help me with the answers, please? I hope we are taking their worries, because many persons have problems and they think that this program should help edify them. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great topic with the entire team of great people. I am enjoying the program and learning more. Aiden Villa from Halifax in Canada. This one says, good evening, Mr. Leo. It's Emanuela from Gabon. No volume, please. I'm not hearing. Please, volume. I don't know. Just can you do a research, Emanuela? Good evening, sir. May God bless you for such a wonderful program. Thank you very much. Lista Montana says, good evening, Mr. Liu and the great panelists. It's Lista Montana from Yaoundé Educative Program. Mr. Liu, a man should not get married if he is unable to handle his wife and mother. Oops, this is another angle. You must be able to handle your wife and the mother. Okay, good afternoon. Wow, the topic is wonderful and interesting. Mary is writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to you too. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good debate, but it's one-sided. You should involve traditionalists. I don't agree with some aspects from the church people. Parents have something to say about their children getting married. Parents do background check, and it's very important. Thanks. Ngiando is writing from Mancon Town in Bermuda. A young Hovis from Kumbasis, parents have their role to play in marriage, especially premarital preparation. Question: should a child married without parental blessings according to African tradition? Okay. Somebody wrote there from Texas asking how she could follow the program. Good evening, Mr. Kum. How do I participate or watch the program Prime Hour directly? I am Ivan Sona in Corpus Christi, Texas. Evan, you can follow our program on our Facebook page, My Media Prime Facebook page. And yes, this issue. Do you think that mother-in-laws are troublemakers, or the fact that you women, you are also jealous of your mother-in-laws?
Well, that's two-sided. We have three kinds of mother-in-laws. We have the problematic mother-in-laws, the ones that they just love problems, good or bad, they are problematic, and usually come from the husband's side. Secondly, we have the mother-in-laws that are very considering, like they are that pillar they want to be a pillar in both the son or the wife, or both of the couples, you know. And then we have this mother-in-law that feels that they have suffered for their sons or their daughters, so they are the ones who are supposed to enjoy these possessive mother-in-laws. So now, I don't know where those watching us, where you find yourself, but I will just say that mother-in-laws should not influence marriage. It should not influence the sons or their daughters' homes. It's not acceptable. If I should get married tomorrow and my mother-in-law comes to the house, trust me, I'll send her away.
No,
she comes to the house to possess, like to implement rules and regulation, and to act like she has to control my home. That is my home.
Mother-in-law one day.
No, I will not control my son.
No, because one day you will be mother-in-law.
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I will not control my son. You know why? No, I won't control my son.
You are also reacting naturally.
No, I will not control my son. The law doctor rightly said.
Because I imagine
African parents
sent out of the house by my wife.
Sent on if there's a problem, if she will come to cause a problem, I will send her away, because that's not her home. I didn't get married to her. I got married to her son.
So she cannot come. To send her away, not you.
At the end of the day, marriage is a covenant between two people. And there is no secrecy in marriage. If I'm getting married to my husband, if I'm getting married to my husband, we share everything. We share our bank accounts. We pay the bills together. So it's our home. It's not the husband, the mother-in-law, and the son. For her to send away her husband, her mother. I have the right in that house. I will not take it.
What do you want to get married to? Is Cameroon or?
I will get married in Africa and Cameroon.
It is beautiful.
No, No, serious. Let me come. Like he rightly said that in African society we don't bring up kids to release them, and that's true. In the Western, where 18 years old, you're ready to go. So in Africa, the mother still believe that at the age of 50 you should be taking care of her, which is not correct. A man at the age of 30, if he's not, I always say this thing: if a man is 35 years old, he's not married, he has a problem.
Yeah, but somebody asked a question from Idea. It's asking the question whether in Africa, comparing the marriages in Africa and the West, because according to you, you think that the best way.
Now, this is anytime somebody says in Africa, we are not saying, I'm not automatically saying Western world is correct. I am analyzing what I have observed in Africa. Yes. Yeah. And I want to. Yes.
We have to be sincere here.
Yes.
Okay.
Marriage is a universal assignment. When you start cutting sections of the world and cutting departments of the world, well, what if an African gets married to a European?
Oh.
There are some fundamental principles that are universal in their operation. Let us talk about those fundamental principles and keep some mundane, archaic, forgotten cultures and traditions here. If you get married to an Asian woman, there are Cameroonians who got married to Indians, got married to a Canadian.
What happened to them finally?
Let us be able to. They are living successfully.
There are so many that
Listen,
they're very successful.
They're happy.
I'm talking.
Okay.
To every rule, there's an exception.
Yes.
That a Cameroonian was killed by a Canadian does not. Africans have gotten married here, go to America and kill themselves. The Ghanaian pastor that killed his wife, the wife was a Ghanaian and the other was a Ghanaian, but they killed themselves in America. I think we should understand that some laws are universal. And we should be talking here with the mentality of not trying to carve out marriage in a particular region. Because in India, it is women that pay bride price.
Yes. Which means marriage is culture.
Which, if we want to talk about the issue of marriage being a subject of cultural activity, we should be talking about, we should change the topic there.
Yes.
And specify about Africa or Cameroon as per se.
Yeah. We look at parents. Please, we look at parents. You people are
how much say should African parents have in the
parents, not African parents.
No,
parents.
Africa. Because the idea of Africa is we are dealing with a topic that we don't have a mastery over. There's confusion here. They should correct that thing there. Why you tell the Africa?
Apostle.
Does marry any year? If you marry white tomorrow, you carry a man.
He will learn the African culture because I'm African. I will learn his culture.
We are in Africa.
I'm telling you that.
And we are talking in our context.
No.
And then when we go to some certain extent, we will say in this case.
Listen.
Okay, please, I want us to move this debate forward.
I want us to talk marriage.
Eddie was saying something.
You have 1 minute, then he comes in here.
1 minute.
No, you come. Yes.
Okay, I was saying this before we all came in again. I'm not going to send my mother-in-law out if she's a peaceful mother-in-law, if she's supportive, if she comes to bring peace in my home. I didn't get married to her son. Like I said, a marriage is a union between two forgivers and two forgetters, and it's a covenant. The two shall become one. That's what the Bible says, right? I'm not so much, but I know at least that one, that the two shall become one. So now there's some mother-in-laws that, like what I was saying, a man is 50 years old, still thinking of his wife, husband, and the mom. The mom just wakes up, my medicine don't finish, my this don't finish, my dad don't finish. Well, you had your own life. If I can contribute in the life of my mother, then I will do it. If I can contribute in the life of my mother-in-law, I will do it. It's not an obligatory.
If the husband is no more, who should take care of the mother?
No, that in that case, we take care of the mother-in-laws, but not like she's obliging us to do it. Like it is my son, it's my son's money. I have to. No. It's not done. So the possessive type.
What if the son is very comfortable doing it?
No, if the son is comfortable doing it, I will have no choice than to let them be. Seriously, no, I cannot kill myself in that situation, because you cannot fight the love of a son over his mother. Never.
You let them be.
I will let them
stay in the home.
No, it's a divorce case. Now I will leave the marriage. No, trust me.
Because the son is taking care of the mother.
You can never fight. No, you cannot fight the son's love over the mother.
No,
I cannot be in the home. It's like I'm living in misery. You understand? Because my mother-in-law and the son, they are against me. That's not marriage anymore. I go to my mom's house.
What's the problem if your husband is taking care of you?
That is not marriage. Is not about taking care. Marriage is that harmony in a home. Is the happiness.
Seemingly, you had something to add to what she just said. Do you buy her position?
No,
because you're taking care of your mother. Yeah, wife.
No. To put it correctly, I didn't say because she's taking care of his mother. I said if the son and the husband and the mom they're against me, like the husband doesn't want to see my own side, or the mother is being so possessive to the point that he sees nothing wrong with her attitude, then I'll go to my own mother.
Okay, my question to you actually has to do with how much say should parents, because we have spiritual parents now. Yes, there are some men and women who listen more to their spiritual parents than their actual biological parents. But you react to what she said and then you answer that.
Okay. To what she said, that if the mother-in-law is too possessive of her son, she will leave the marriage. It's not a cure. She will end up getting married to 50 men. Because no mother-in-law, no matter how distant they may be, they will always have a certain urge over their son. We have to accept some realities. They are just real. The truth is, you, the man, should be the one to know how to manage your wife and your mother-in-law. The men that get married to two wives, sometimes the separation of these two persons in question gives a lot of serenity. And if you consider your mother as that kind of possessive mother-in-law, that means she stands the chance of another wife. Wisdom is demanded. She may visit temporarily. Let her stay not be long. And then make sure you satisfy her at a distance. Because if she will only come to your house more when she lacks.
Exactly.
The more you are giving her what she needs at a distance, then prefer to pay her visit the more than her paying you visit in the house.
Exactly. Simple.
Can I say something?
I'm landing now, my sister. Pay her visit the more. And then, for instance, you can take your wife there just for 2 days. Let her know that the wife and the husband come to see me in the house.
How about spiritual parents? I'm sure you are a spiritual father to
yes. A father, biological. Scripture says in the book of Ephesians, that obey your father and your mother, and obey your father and mother in the Lord. The Bible enjoins us to obey these two people. They ask us to do that. But the truth is, if you look at the spiritual father is somebody who is endowed by God and given a certain level of wisdom and revelation as far as this marriage stuff is concerned. So to me, obeying one more than the other has nothing to do. It has to do with the person amongst them who is giving you the right counsel. If your biological father is somebody who is knowledgeable enough to counsel you and to direct you, I think you should submit to him, because there are spiritual fathers also who are empty, who practically have nothing to offer. The issue is people will always submit to you and listen to you when they realize that you are saying something beyond their capacity. A man who is not learned, a man who is learned can only submit to somebody who is more exposed than himself.
Yes.
So if you're in a marriage and you discover that your biological parents are more experienced in the skill of marriage, in the area of marriage, and they give you better counsel, better in your home, I don't see how you will pay attention. So it doesn't rank if there's a spiritual father taking dominion over natural father. The problem is you as the person. You should be able to know who is giving you the right direction, giving the right counsel. So the idea but the issue is most people are very foolish, I'm sorry to use this statement, to think that because a man is a pastor, he's intelligent. No. There are many pastors who are not even exposed to information, because a pastor is not somebody who just carry a collar on his neck. A pastor is a researcher. A pastor is somebody who is studious. A pastor is somebody that has had some experiences in life. That's why I was teaching something today in the studio. Now people have to understand that a pastor who doesn't have adequate knowledge in the area of marriage is not qualified to counsel. Not every pastor is a marital counselor.
Okay.
Yes. You must be clear. And then let me learn, I beg.
Okay.
Or I should finish. I wanted to talk about the issue of the marriage we are dealing here. We should concentrate on African marriages and don't mention marriage as a whole.
No, it's marriage. It's marriage as a whole, please.
Good evening. Because this is of African tea. I don't want to hear it. Good evening. If thing that was sub married, don't tell me African tea here.
Good evening to all of you over there. If I want to get married to a lady, I wish her mom is already dead, because most of them help to spoil marriage from Limbe, Tamanjong Peter. Oops, that's not good, my brother. Greetings, please, to the young woman who just spoke about sending away her mother-in-law. I encourage you to do so. It is it is a seed you are sowing and will one day reap. Galatians 6:7. Thanks. Yes, I said because you are also going to be mother-in-law one day. Hello, Mr. Liu. Is parental involvement before, during, or after the marriage? Musongo Kumba, writing from Kumba. Okay. This thing that in Africa you get married, but to the family is so stressful. Some families are stressful, demanding, and financially broke. You tend to carry so much liabilities because you are married in that family. Gerard, writing from Long Street in Boya. Good evening. Is Van 99 from Idea. My mother-in-law said she needs but a president, and I'm not so. What should I do? Okay. Good evening to all in the studio. The way the lady is talking, I wonder if she's from Africa, because she doesn't make sense, is what she says. This is Christabel, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you, Christabel. She's from Africa. She's a Cameroonian. Good evening to everyone, Mr. Liu. It's Katrin from Tico. I'm 100% support with Pastor Divine, with Black, who said we are raised up not to be sent out. I'm a witness to that, okay? Good evening, sir. I'm really enjoying the program. I think it's high time. Oh, now, I want us to look. We are talking about you guys now, spiritual father. We have many women. It has caused many problems. So many, where it is said that they have more respect for their papa, daddy, than even the husband or the parents. Where do we get it wrong?
Yes, it is very common today in our churches, especially Pentecostal churches, because the way the church is run is the pastor talks a lot of big things, a lot of wonderful things and great things, and the pastors, they talk a lot of nice way to these girls and nice way to people's wives. Because I think there's a certain extent you should not relate with people's wives.
Okay.
A certain extent, especially if you know that a lady is a married woman. As a pastor, be very careful. As a matter of fact, if you want to really talk with them, get both of them first, and when they come around, you can say, okay, you Oga, please sit outside a bit, let me talk to your wife, and then your wife, go outside, please let me talk to Oga. It will help a lot, because a lot of things have gone wrong, because the pastor always behaves as if he's a god. And then maybe the other thing is the husband is a foolish man, because when the pastor is very romantic and the husband is not romantic, because obviously the husband is the one sitting in the fire in the house, so he understands what they go through in the house. But the pastor meets the woman only the time they have services in the church, so you can't really know what is happening. So the pastor, you don't even know what the pastor is going through in his own house, that you'll be saying that, okay, my daddy is this, my daddy, and they end up sleeping with them. Most cases like that, that's what happens with it, because they overrate the papa or the man of God to an extent. You see, like Love's daughter talks like this. He talks to a lot of women, because yes, they come a lot of women, and you know, it's a very handsome man. Just imagine you this kind of man be your counselor. As a woman, you are very tempted to do many things, and then you know, yes, because they will believe that he is strong. He knows that thing he is saying, he can do it very well. So let me just get closer so that he can do that kind of a thing. Now, women, please let me tell you something. Nobody can be better than your husband. I will tell you this truth. The husband was courageous enough to pick you out of the crowd. Maybe he is not intelligent enough, or he's not wise enough to manage you. That's why I want to say that husbands should be technicians in marriage. You shouldn't sit there and just wait to say, if he do me so I go vex, if he do me so I go do so. No, you must be a technician. You must be ready to manage certain issues. Like when we're talking about this issue of a mother and daughter-in-law, that thing is very common. It is the man that has the yam and the knife for those things. It's neither the wife nor the mother. The man should be able to know how to manage those situations. That's the same thing that every papa should do in our churches today. They should be able to know that this thing is not about them. They are not the ones to go and live with those people in the house. They're not the one to live with the wife. You can't make the wife to think that the husband is very bad, and so because the wife wants to stay in the church, because we are hearing of many of these guys who have decided to take people's wife and kept them in the church. They don't go back to their houses. We have heard those kind of a thing on televisions and many confessions on Facebook. We hear those kind of a thing, because you make the man to be bad, and then at the end of the day, where is the woman going to? The woman is going back to that same house. and there will be a lot of problems. So I really want to talk to some of our papas, especially young papas. Be careful with people's wives, because some of them don't really have satisfaction from their husbands. If you want to must teach them those things, bring both of them together and put those things on the platform. Don't begin to tell them some kind of erotic things. Then they go back and say, the way Papa talk this thing, it didn't say if he handle them very well. Before you want to discover, they start seducing you. At the end of the day, you find yourself in their laps, and you get up, you cannot reconcile because they start blackmailing you. And when she blackmails you, you are forced to succumb to her everything. That's what is happening today everywhere.
I start doing
yes. So, but now when it comes to your biological father and your spiritual father, like Apostle Ambe said, this thing is not about who is who. It's about who can manage what. Who can manage what? When it comes to traditional issues or some kind of parental issues, I think that parents can manage those things better. Then when it comes to spiritual things and some kind of issues, I think that ministers of God can handle it. But we should know that not all ministers of God are counselors. They may be counselors in other areas, but not marital counselors. One pastor, I used to write a lot about marriage, and one pastor commented on my post and then came into my inbox and tried to talk to me. But now I tried to say, oh, wonderful, man of God, I like your contribution you give. Please, can I invite you to come one time so that we can talk to some people about it? He said, no, when it comes to marriage, I cannot talk about it. And I really applauded his sincerity, that he cannot talk about marriage. He's very frank about it, because he has some challenges in his home. He cannot manage his home. So it feels that he may not be able to be the right person to counsel.
Okay. Yes, you've been babbling for so long.
Yes. Please, I would just like you to give me 2 minutes.
No, go on. Yeah.
The first thing I would like to say is I really applaud wonderful things that I've heard here. But I would like us to go back to the core of all of this problem.
Okay.
When you hear me started talking about mindset of parents and everything, it was because it was from this mindset we had most of these problems. That is why I was going back, and I want to emphasize. For example, we have a common problem in Africa where a man will give birth to 16 children and is telling the first, as you go, so no forget, so you get 15 follow back. As you travel, go abroad, no forget, say a man takes their child as their way out of survival. It's a mentality. If we don't solve, it will affect plus marriage. That is why I am very concerned. You see, all of these things we have mentioned are branches. I am very much concerned. Thank God for all the things I said, even about this purpose, everything. Anybody who knows me, for example, when people come, a lot of time when people come, I told somebody, even in my church, I told a lady, I said, make your choice well, because the day you marry, you call me and say your husband has driven you, I will tell you, sleep on that veranda, I will come and meet you in the morning. I made it very clear that you will not even come to my house, you will not even come to church, because the problem is, let's solve this problem from the core. You see, marriage is more of a product of something that.
Okay, if I get your reasoning, many men are getting into marriage still under bondage. They are not free. It's like it's like what they're talking about Africa.
They have not left. That is where
men are in a new colonial.
Thank you. And this is how it continues to maneuver. That is, you see, all of this thing we are talking, we are just trying to break small branches here and there. You see, even the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. It means I want a to-be parent and a parent to understand that your child is not responsible for you. You are responsible for your child and your child's child. If everybody began to think like that, I don't know if you understand. In Africa, no, we're not saying it's impossible.
But this awareness is coming now, Manu.
That is why I'm giving awareness.
Our parents did not know.
Thank God. That is why I'm giving the awareness.
So bear with them.
Yes, that's why I'm giving the awareness, and I want us to touch the root, because we are talking to 3 generations. We are talking to people who are already inside. Because even a parent now can get deliverance.
Of course.
Then now we are also talking to people who are still, our sister is still to get married. We are talking to people. Let's be honest. We are talking to the future. You see, whenever I speak, I look at my audience and I look at what I am saying can affect them. When you see all my, I'm trying to show where my points come from.
So for you, before you,
yes,
you wish that when a man is getting married, the person should be truly independent.
Should be truly independent
to take care of his affairs. Yes,
when you are truly independent to take care of your affairs. Now, this does not mean I won't take care of my wife's family or not. Let's not get it twisted.
But it's not an obligation.
It's not an obligation. I want to say it clearly here. It's not an obligation. I do it out of love. I do it out of concern. You cannot emotionally blackmail me as my mother to take care of you. I won't.
But this is, I think that is fundamental in most African families today.
That is
you see, the family is fighting you and their wife for not taking care. You have a family of 20-something persons. Everybody is
that's
looking
where I came in
up to you.
That is
and
the
once you
problem.
don't meet them, the first target is your wife.
Yes,
the point.
that is what I was
Okay,
trying
I
to
get-
say.
yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say, because most of this is emotional blackmail. Most of these people, that's why you say I encourage my young people. I say make money, because in family meeting, most of these people telling you, even when people are fighting your destiny and purpose, they're telling you how you will come up here. Even sometimes you tell people they just make it look like it's the church that is keeping you here, and they say no, travel abroad, do this. I used to tell them, I said, if you stand now, maybe they want me to go abroad, and I refuse, and I say no, my purpose is here, and they're insisting. I say, if you stand and start telling your mother 200,000, 300,000, they'll say, oh my pikin, you don't stay here, stay here. You see, most of this thing is because of their game. It's commercial, like he said. You understand? So we want to solve this problem. It is not because I don't love them. That is why if a parent now is mature, they can be able
and
to.
that's
This is a
where
revelation that
that's
one
where
lost. This is a revelation we are
yes,
getting here that
that's where I
Yeah.
came in and I said, if my mother-in-law comes into the house and act that way, I will send her away.
Are we saying that
most people
father-in-laws
got,
are
excuse
always
me,
very understanding?
most people
No,
got me
we
wrong.
talk about
Excuse
father-in-law.
me, most people got me wrong. If the viewers got me wrong, most people got me when I said I'll send my mother-in-law away. It's because
But I
of that
understand what you're
possessive attitude. I cannot be in my husband's house and every month I get, he has like 4 or 5 followers or siblings that the mother has to call. This one is school fees, that one is this, they want is your money, and then we are struggling, both
That
of
is
us,
the
and
problem.
then you
When
still
she's
come into
struggling,
that
if
house.
she's
I'm
struggling
struggling for my husband or my family and my own kids, but then my husband is not financially free. He's still in bondage. He's still in that prison. Like my anything, it's my mom. Let me please her. It's my mom. Let me please her. She's going to die if I don't do this.
Marriage
If
is not
you
a way
come
out
to
of
my
poverty.
house and you act that way, I will say, Mama, go to your house.
Yes.
Yeah, go to your husband's house.
This is-
It's not like I'm just going to wake up one morning and say my mother-in-law out.
Let's
No.
understand where we're going from. You see, that's why I want to say, thank God for this. This is a liberating revelation we're bringing here. Be truly independent. Are you understanding me? I called, sometimes you can call your wife. I say, hey, I want to give my mom, even as a man, even when you want to give your mother something, talk with your wife. Say, hey, I want us. What do you think? Let's bless Mama with this. You know, a good wife. In fact, we are a good husband. The wife is going to appreciate of what the mother did to raise a child. And I want to talk, especially single moms. Single moms they put this thing together plus when you see the way they handle plus their children. I used to people have counseled when you talk to girls who grow up with single moms, you understand that they have been implemented with some things that that's why you see most of the time single moms give birth to children who finally end up being single moms because of the doctrine that is passed.
Me, I have
Yeah.
a friend. I have a friend that who once came to me. It's a guy, and he was complaining about the same issue about the mom always. You know, he has always give money out. The only thing was like, look for a means, right? Sit both parents, so both moms, like your mom, your mother-in-law, and your mom. Said to them, give them a business, and then work out of it to have a co-head in the future, because there is no way you ever stop like, I will not give her money.
If we're talking about so,
If I laying emphasis,
Giving money as if
if I laying emphasis on mother-in-laws and father-in-law,
No.
I have sisters and
cousins, uncles,
They pass through the mothers. They pass through the mothers.
Can we understand?
They
How do
pass
we-
through
how
the
do we-
mothers.
Yes. How do we limit all of this? That is, the brother thinks that this
Yes.
is my brother's house, I have a say.
Yes.
The sister says this is my sister's house, I have a say. How do we limit all of that?
it is even worse if the person you are getting married to is the breadwinner on both sides. Oh, you are in trouble.
yeah.
They will feel like the Messiah. I have seen a mother who has refused her female daughter, her daughter from getting married because she wants the girl to be taking money and sponsoring the junior ones. That a man will come into her life, marry her, and then stop her from giving the family the opportunity was given as a single. They were trading the girl's marital future, trading her generation, trading her descendant because they want to satisfy the interest of the immediate family. Now, how do you explain that a girl's destiny and career is sold because she wants to protect the interests of siblings that are still coming up? The truth is, we have to teach our children to be financially independent.
Yeah.
Nobody should be the pillar on which the entire family will lean on. One rich man in the midst of 6 poor people
All poor
equals to 7 poor
Poor people, yes.
That is to say, the single person that has a kobo in the family will be drained by everyone in that family.
Yes, sir.
And this is where the trouble is. Parents should do everything possible to grow their children so that they begin to break forth from left to right. When everybody is looking up to one person, it becomes a crime. The innocent girl, that boy may even have an attitude that he did not take note when he was a single man. But once a woman walks into that home, they will attribute all the man's error for being the cause, for the woman being the cause. And a woman cannot stand and take that nonsense. She cannot continue to take that nonsense. The fact that she's being humiliated, the fact that she's been embarrassed, and then she's suffocated in a house she thinks is her own house. The husband is not the alpha and omega of finances. This is where the trouble is coming from. I think when men get married, they should understand that he has had a new family. That's why there are two kinds, extended and nuclear. You owe the responsibility of the nuclear family more than the extended family. That's the truth.
Okay.
And if your father claims he's the one that's sending to school, somebody sent your father to school too. If your grandfather claims he's the one that has taken care of your father, they should go back to, and everybody must be raised by somebody. You are being raised to raise the next generation, the previous generation.
Yeah.
If you are doing something for the previous generation, it should be done out of a voluntary sacrifice.
Yes.
It should not be as if you are paying back
Paying back, yeah.
what was done to you. And if this one is not inculcated in the minds of people, I tell you with all sincerity, we shall go 10 steps ahead. Family will tie a rope on our waist and pull us 15 steps behind.
True.
You are married to a new wife and you are creating a new family. And that's the reason why you see most parents have sponsored cousins, brothers and sisters, and their own children did not go to school.
Yes.
Then tomorrow, those children who are abandoned by you go to those same cousins and uncles and aunties that you sponsored. They won't give one kobo. They will tell them, I have my own troubles here. Failing to understand that the money you worked was what you invested in their lives. You cannot sacrifice. You cannot trade. You cannot commercialize the destiny of your children because of a people who might not even end up appreciating you tomorrow.
Correct.
The only person you can invest and you will not cry is your own child.
Okay, yes. How do we also limit the influence of friends? Should we carry bedroom troubles to friends as a way of seeking advice on how to better our situations? Has it always turned out to be helpful?
You know that I learned a particular skill to manage crisis, so I don't need to tell my problems to friends.
Okay.
That's just it. Everyone that goes to tell problems to friends is because they don't master techniques. One of the things you must do in your marriage is to know your partner. Know who you are living with. Know it. When you have a problem, sometimes you can go out, stroll, move on the streets, or drink something of your choice, or just eat something good. By the time you go to the house, you must have had an idea on how to go about such issues. It's true that friends can really advise, but it's not everything that you can go and tell friends. I have spiritual fathers. I have mentors, counselors, and so on. But I've never carried my marital problems to them. Not because they cannot solve it, or not because I don't have marital problems, but because I think that they are not the right people to do it. I believe that both of us, I and my wife, can manage our problems. Sometimes I deliberately avoid to go closer to my spiritual parents when I have problem with my wife, because I'll be tempted to say some kind of things that are going to hurt my home at the long run. A woman does not want to feel that you go and you've reported her to somebody else. That's the kind of thing. A man also does not want to feel that you went and reported him to somebody else. And that's why I feel that at a very good stage of marriage, everybody should have a sound mind. When you want to talk about financial independence, you should also talk about emotional independence. You should also talk about psychological independence. You must be independent all around. You must learn to know how to manage crisis. Crisis management in marriages is the highest thing that everybody should learn. But unfortunately, the educated people suffer the most because of what? They thought that education is everything. Yes. They don't know how to go about some things. They conflict because they thought that it's just to solve
mathematics. As a doctor, you're a doctor in solving problems. As a professor, you're a professor in solving problems.
Good. This thing is psychology. Psychology. Sit down and manage emotions. There are some ways you will talk to one another. This thing to quarrel in marriage is authorized. As a matter of fact, it's permitted. Quarrel with your husband in the room. Quarrel with them. But after that, settle it. Don't only settle it by discussion. Have a nice time.
You see,
lots
of revelations are coming out from this program. Don't you think that the population actually needs this education?
No,
look at what you're saying. People need to be schooled on how to solve problems in the family. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Because look, I've been married for 16 years today by God's grace. I have 4 kids. Now I have about 13 people living in my house. But you hardly hear some kind of problems from play, or maybe we are going and told neighbor our problems or whatever. We talk amongst us. It's permitted to quarrel. It's permitted to talk. You know, sometimes air out your heart. The problem we are having a lot is because we nurse a lot of grudges in our hearts. So when you now want to air it out, you burst out in a phone and then go out for destroy. When you nurse these things and then when it is time to demonstrate it, you burst it out and it becomes a disaster. But when you always express yourself, let me tell you, your problem cannot go to the point where you want to kill yourself or you want to kill the other person. Or you want to carry your problems to the next friend or other things. That's what I think.
Yes,
where is the place of friends in a relationship?
Thank you, Mr. Leonard.
They just come to celebrate birthdays.
Yeah,
and
I really want to say this. Friends are very, very destructive elements to relationships.
Okay.
Now, they are friends. But you see, most people you call friends are usually at your level. I'm talking about at your level. I'm talking about emotionally. They think like you. Sometimes they are like financial level, emotional level. You understand what I'm saying? You see, one of the things I'm so happy about this program is it reveals what I said on the very first program, Mr. Leo, that people need knowledge. They need to be educated. What we're talking about, this is education that's not gotten from school. That is why you see, I have a whole tape. Anybody who is interested can contact me. I have a tip on how to handle conflict in a relationship. Okay. And my number 1 point on handling conflict in a relationship is don't avoid the conflict. Many people think they think that not having conflict is a good thing. Like he said, in fact, conflict is very vital to be able to understand your partner. Good. You can't understand your partner without conflict. In fact, conflict is proof that you came from different backgrounds, you have value systems, and each person retains their personality. So this is something that they can have a whole tape. It's close to an hour, 30 minutes to something that somebody can order. And they will have it. So I want to say this: friends are not the people to solve. That is why I gave my own solution here. I will always advise soon to be married people or even married people, not only to get whether it's pastor or this, because we will say some people be like, why you just like we said, not all pastors can handle this. Not everybody has the emotional intelligence. Even this independent we're talking about emotional, financial, like he said, and all other independence. So get somebody that both of you look up to and truly honor. It will help. And when you get that, because sometimes, in fact, many relationships have been destroyed because the wife spoke to a friend. And you cannot solve the problem again because the moment the husband heard, so you carry my thing, go talk you go talk now for that friend, especially they don't like, and that is it. It cannot be solved again. Look for somebody who, when you hear that it went to the person, although you might not like it, you can still listen and gain idea. And I want to say this: every family, every relationship should have somebody both of them look up to and value. It will help them in conflict resolution.
Do you tell their problems to your? They always say besties now. Besties can help you out.
There's no bestie in relationship or in marriage.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to the women. And if the woman is keeping like single friends are not in any serious relationship, I don't think there's any kind of a good advice that can come from your friends. So I always advise, I always say this, that people should not sleep with their misunderstanding. If you have a problem with your husband or your fiance, or don't sleep with it. Like the pastor rightly said, it is okay to quarrel. It's okay to have misunderstanding, but don't sleep with those quarrel. Sit in your room and try to, solve it. Look for a solution within you, and always make God your foundation in your relationship.
It won't work.
Okay.
It will work.
I will not stop that.
It will work because friends will come in order to give bad advice, especially for the men. Once you start telling your friends that drink and keep late nights that, I'm having problems with my wife, the next thing you find yourself in a bar. Yeah. The next thing you come back at 2 a.m. in the morning. You aggravate that situation in your house. Yes, when you're drunk, you're tipsy, you want another woman, you start seeing all the skirts and everything in a skirt as a woman, as a somebody. So you have to be with your wife in the house.
Okay, greetings to you all in the studio. The program is teachable and I'm enjoying it, but I want the men of God to answer me this question. Does it really matter the tribe one is to get married to? That is a topic for another day. Yeah. Because some parents are against some union because of tribe. Bisong John, writing from Edea. Bisong, I hope when I come to Edea, we'll meet. Ayon Hovis from Kumba. I love Apostle Ambe. He speaks like grandfather, not only as a clergyman. Okay. This one says, godly marriage is between the man and woman. Parents and friends are welcome when they come to strengthen marriage bonds. It's the duty of couples to take care of the needy from their extra incomes. No man is an island. Bangala is writing from womb. Good evening to you, Bangala. Glad to read from you. Good evening. Dear ones, Anita Mezo from Santa, thank you for the advice. It is not good to share your problems outside, okay? This one said, dear Edith, that means as a single lady, you were an influence to your married friends. Okay, I understand what they want to, they are talking about. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great program and great panelists. The young lady on the panel does not understand what marriage is all about. Send away her mother-in-law from the son's house. Abomination. No, she corrected what she said. Interesting topic and very educative contributions. The young people on the panel should know that family members are not only there to receive things from them, but also to assist with some challenges that may arise. Pascaline is writing from Limbe. Good evening to you. Good evening to you in the studio. I'm writing from Bamenda. God bless that man of God. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu. More grace to your elbows. Kudos to the man in black and Pastor Ambe. I need that video on conflict, please. She Legend, writing from Yaoundé. She just requests it after the program, and I will send you the number. Hilda says, okay, good evening to you, Hilda. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's good for a husband to report his wife to his family. Jano Tracy is writing from Yaoundé. Mr. Liu, one of your panelists is selfish with his take. He speaks a lot of himself. I did this, I did that. What about a situation where a father, based on his financial situation, decides to drop some of his children from school for one of their brothers to be grounded? We have pastors who are called of God. They make good counselors. We also have those who call themselves the troublemakers and home breakers. Tiku Felix and Deep, writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Satiku. And writing from Kumba says, good evening, Mr. Liu. I always enjoy this panel more than the others. The program is very interesting today, and concerning the topic of today, I think what the lady said is correct, and many viewers took it out of context. I'm a married woman, and if my mom-in-law thinks that because she gave birth to my husband, I shouldn't have peace in my home, I will not think twice before asking her to go back to her house. I will not die because I got married to her son. God forbid. And for the guy who wishes to get married to a woman whose mom is dead, well, I just want to let him know that sisters-in-laws are worse than mom-in-laws. So better no die. So better no day, no side. Okay? And good evening. Say better no day, no side. Okay. And good evening. I once completed about my husband to my mother-in-law, and she told me I have to know my husband is a hot cake. Larissa is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening. A very interesting program, Mr. Kum and others. The solution to the debate lies on 1 John 4:18, which says there is no fear in love, for perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. He who fears has not been made perfect in love. Vali is writing from Limbe. Mo from Yaoundé says, good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks very much. Please, I beg of you, I completely and vehemently reject that boy's opinion about single moms. I am one, and the upbringing I give my son is to have a balanced mindset and not self-centered or attached to me. I don't prison his mind. Okay? Of course, it will be my joy that he gets married and be a responsible man. Mo is writing from Yaoundé. So many messages. Let's use the last 30 minutes to discuss our second topic, which has to do with privacy in marriage. Should couples talk about privacy? Should this the wife says, no, this is my privacy, you should not know? Should the husband say same, knowing that the Bible tells us that the two have now become one?
Okay, before I answer that question, I want to add something to what other panelists said concerning if wife and husband have a problem, they can quarrel, and then they should not allow the day to pass like that. It's a lie. Some days have to pass because some wounds don't get healed immediately. When we are talking about reality, we have to be practical. You cannot be under that tension and think you're going to solve matters that night. There are some times it will take 3, 4 days, 5 days, and if we say we are teaching realities and practicality on this platform, we should not make those who stay for 1 week without being in as if they fell from hellfire. Those things are normal because wounds don't have the same depth and they don't get healed the same day. It depends on the situation that can cause you to resolve something within hours and seconds. Things can take even a month. Something can take even a week. It depends on how you manage it. Now, coming to your question, should we keep secrets? I'm going to give an analogy with the church and Christ. The Bible says Christ is the groom and the church is the bride. And if the church is considered the bride and Christ is the groom, it means they are married. It means husband and wife. And there are so many things that Christ has kept from the church, which is secret. Deuteronomy 29:29 says the secret things will not belong to him. And those that he reveals to us is for us in our generation. But we are one. One flesh, one soul, one baptism, one spirit with the Lord. He that is joined to the Lord has become one with the Lord, and one spirit with the Lord, and one body with the Lord. So the Lord has secrets that he has kept. Jesus Christ took Peter, James, and John to the mountaintop. After he transfigured all of them, he came back and said that he should not tell the remaining 9. That's secret. That's Jesus Christ and the church. Jesus was married to the apostles. So the church has also kept secret, which is the groom keeping from the bride. When God told Rebecca that, Madam, the elder man shall serve the younger, she was married to Isaac. She didn't tell the husband. It was time for the blessing to be given. She acted what God told her in a closet in the place of prayer. That was secret. When God told Abraham to go and sacrifice Isaac, he didn't tell Sarah. Because there are information that people cannot handle. What I want to say is this: that you become one flesh with somebody does not mean you have the same maturity. It is the maturity of an individual that determines his capacity to manage an information. That's the reason why most pastors will even give their wives microphone whom they don't have any capacity to preach, because they think they have become one flesh. Now, does it mean that because you are one flesh with your wife, it means she's going to ministry? Not all pastors' wives are pastors. And because of this one flesh mentality, we are giving poor offices to have the anointing to minister in it. Therefore, they come to the church and cause the confusion. So when we talk about keeping secrets, it is very, very important. I've given you biblical analogies, and now I want to make it clear in life. It depends the kind of profession you have. People cannot confide their secrets to you. Your wife is not supposed to have access to information of others who confide in you. Because your wife will take people's privacy and tell it to the best friend.
The best friend was another
best friend will have another best friend to another best friend. There's another best friend. Before that, the whole town is best friend.
Best friend.
Then we have best information to everybody. When we say the two shall become one flesh, I must be sincere with you. It's not in the sense of divulging people's personal information to you. Talking about working together, driving your dreams together, pursuing your vision together, building a family together, having financial dealings with yourself together. Not carrying people's privacy and putting your life. Secondly, there is this issue of people who are impotent. They never tell a girl, because in Christianity you're not supposed to sleep with a woman before you get married to her. They come there and they hide. They don't disclose it. You marry tomorrow only to find out that the woman does not have a womb. The man cannot erect. On that ground, I will tell you to divorce the person. Because the person is not faithful, the person is not sincere from the very initial onset. You cannot marry a eunuch when you are not prepared to marry a eunuch. That's the truth. So what about secret? Secret is something that came from heaven. Scripture says the secret things of the Lord belong to him. And those that he reveals to us is for us and our generation. So I think depending on your profession and depending on how you are managing your life, secrecy is very important. So I know you are going to be asking me if I can hide my phone from my wife. Because that's where most of the secret we are talking today is hidden.
Yes, but should you?
Should you hide your phone from your wife? That's why I've said that it depends on what you are doing in life.
So some people, there should be no
some
secrecy
people
for
should
some people.
keep their phones far from their wife. As a matter of fact, keeping your phone from the wife has even helped to solve many problems. Because why? There are people who are equally jealous of that marriage that can send text messages to scatter their home and they come in. Devils attack through enemies.
Okay, good evening to you, Kmer. A Samba, my brother watching out there from South Africa. Song and Derek, good evening to you, watching from Bunaberi. Rice Wood and Agu Regel Tembang watching. We say thank you. Privacy in marriage. How do you understand this?
Yeah, I think we talked about this topic some other time here.
Yes.
And I want to say that just like how Apostle Ambe said, this privacy issue is you are supposed to be very mature when it comes to certain things. You should know what to tell your wife at what time. There are some things that you just have to tell her, but the timing also. Sometimes it may take some time, it may take years, it may take some periods before you can even open up to the person, because you know that at this point in time, if I tell you this thing, it's even going to kill you. When they kill you, I remain a widower.
Why do you only see the man not telling the woman? Why don't you also think that the woman should?
No. I'm not expect, like I told you the other time, I don't expect my wife to tell me everything. As a matter of fact, I don't even touch my wife's phone because I don't want to see anything. That's somebody who deals with bankers, people's millions and all the like. People are talking to her every day, up and down. People are even calling her when I'm there. We're on the bed, they are calling her up and down. The man is talking and this thing, please, how can I see you? How can I judge that kind of statement from whether she is doing some things or not? There are some things that we should not put our minds on for the sake of long life.
For your own
personal distance. Those are some things. I will never expect my wife to tell me some things at a given time when I know that I'm not in good condition. Now, I am that kind of a person that reacts immediately. When you tell me something, I react. And in the next phase, that's why we talk about, you say don't sleep over some things. I cultivated this issue for many years. For these many years in marriage, I don't sleep over issues. If you cause me trouble here and I cause you trouble, immediately first they will solve it. That's how it goes. So when I'm talking about this secrecy issue, it has to do with maturity. Know when to say it, when not to say it. And sometimes there are some things you should not even say. You don't kill that woman. You kill the woman, you remain a widower or you remain a widow. Those are some of the things. And then at the end of the day, high blood will pump in your heart until you can collapse. So these are some things that they always say in church: be transparent, be open. There's nothing like that in the Bible. There's no place like that in the Bible that you have to be open to your wife. I've just seen it. Maybe Apostle Ambe has seen it. You can be to tell me that there was that transparency, or there's a scripture that said that be transparent to your wife or be open. I've not seen it.
Is it not God who said that?
But what do we understand by the two have now become one?
They have become one in certain things, not this thing. They have become one in the fact that they reproduce.
Is that what the Bible says?
Yes.
That you shall.
That one at least has a scripture backing.
Yeah, that shall be one in certain things.
Yes, and become one.
I beg you, sir. Let me clarify, Mr. Lee. I beg you, sir. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
When they say one, my wife and I have become one. She has breast, I don't have breast. She has vagina, I have penis.
Yes,
is that one?
Now. Yes, now you
is that one? Do I have penis?
Compliment.
I'm asking you, does she have a penis? You say one.
That's why your husband, that's why she's
you need a penis and a vagina to produce.
And a male that
I'm asking you that what you say they have become one. Yes. One in what context? That should be the talk. We're talking about a bonding in spirit.
Yeah. That oneness doesn't have anything to do with not having wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing, so get wisdom. But we all that get understanding. That is how this thing works.
Do you really understand what is happening on this planet today?
I don't understand, because it's like it's a team of men. No, seriously. How can you say become one in certain aspects? When they were putting the ring, say in sickness or in truth? something like that.
I
right?
was not the one that said that. It is the man
You
that
said I do. Nobody forced you. You said I do. If you
If
do
you
not
don't
want,
say it, you will not marry in that place.
then don't marry
You should
now.
allow me to say my thing myself.
Marriage is a union between two best friends. If you're having your best, yes, you must be a best friend to your wife before you get married. Before you are able to live with her.
People, knowledge has increased. Knowledge has increased. A lot of people.
Man of God,
let me just stop
man
this
of
thing.
God, if you are not your wife's best friend, right, you cannot get married.
about the best
You cannot live with
My
her.
wife-
And best
my
friends don't
best
keep
friend.
secrets.
My
You
wife-
don't keep secrets.
No,
You should not
keep
have.
secrets. Don't say
Okay,
that.
can you share the same account to your?
Is this man we're talking now?
Yes, I'm the one that's talking.
No, it's her.
No, it's not the one that is talking. It's my turn.
I was sorry.
Yeah, it's my turn.
They're feeling with you. Is that
It's my
You
turn.
caught me like that.
Yeah, it's
Just
my-
like that. All right. Go on.
It's my turn. Seriously,
just keep it to calm down.
when you become one, I know most men will be like, okay, at the end of the day, you share accounts, right? Financial dealings.
Who says so?
You start, you share as a husband and wife. We have a joint account.
Problem.
You have a joint account. You share everything, but you don't share your phone password. Lies. You will give that password because we have become one. If you in relationship, you must ask questions. If you say your wife is sleeping by you and a man is calling her, you don't want to ask because no. Ask questions. No, ask the questions. Me, I will ask questions. Hobby, who is that calling you? Because you're my best friend at that moment. The two has become one. It's one in every aspect. Oh, you are the one. Okay. Which scripture says that the man? That some men will say, "My wife will work her money and come and present her salary." Which scripture says that one as well?
Looking for her money.
No, it is you. Some men. Don't personalize it. I'm putting in a very general.
No, you are saying
aspect.
that there is no place for privacy in
marriage. Let's differentiate it. If it is courtship, relationship, boyfriend, yes, people deserve their privacy. Give everybody a space or here. Yes, you deserve your phone password. When it comes to marriage, you guys need to share a lot. Everything, not
So
a
why
lot.
did they give people 2 marriage certificates? They would have given you one that you become one.
Because you need a proof. I need
Because-
a proof.
because I have
Why is the mayor having one marriage certificate? There's one that's being kept at the
For the
counter,
day
right?
when we come back to divorce it,
And then mine is my own proof that I'm also married to show to keep for myself, and yours, okay, it's yours as well. It is one information, just different copies. So we have become one.
You mean joint account that you can tell mother-in-law to go and leave the house? Would you kind of
Oh, you're scared of me. Don't be. I'm just being realistic here, understand? Because people watching us that are facing similar situations. We have to be realistic. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. I'm just trying to put out the picture. We all cannot have a debate and we are being on one side, and we have to see two sides as well. You cannot be saying that I will never accept that we all of us are saying that it is correct. It is not correct at the end of the day.
We don't want to go
no, but Eddie, that is
So
your
at the
stand.
end, some people are facing that the same thing. Some people in their homes, some men are super honest to a point that they can give their wives everything. So and their wives also. So those are not aliens on living on earth. They are human beings. So we have to support their father that also they are living like that. Because me, for one, I can fall in love. I can give you my passion and everything, and I also pray that God sends me that husband that will share everything with me.
You are nice.
Okay.
You are very nice.
Let me take 2
I'm nice.
Let me take 2 messages. There's good evening, Mr. Leo. Great program, Kevin from Bangen. The same principles that govern any aspects of Christian living to apply in marriage as well. By this, I mean divine wisdom, the word, faith, etc. How many of us consult parents for what kind of house to build, job to accept, healing, and so on? So why in marriage? Thank you very much. Good evening to you all in the studio. Is Gerard in Douala. In fact, the topic for today is really motivating. I have learned a lot. Thank you. Dear Edith, get married to transparency. Okay. Edith has gotten you. She will do that. Mr. Liu, I wish to ask the question to the panelists. If you have a friend that believes so much in you and share his marital problems with you and look up to you for solutions, but the wife is not in accordance, how can one go about that? Mr. Tante is writing from Mamfe. I hope you take note and answer that. Hi, Mr. Liu and the man of God. Mr. Liu, my sister got married to a man last month. The man had tuberculosis, but he did not tell my sister. After 1 month, he died. Is that not secret? Okay, Esther is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you. Hello, Mr. Kum. Good evening to you. Or please, can I have Apostle Ambe's number? Cham Beng. writing from Douala. Just write me after this, Apostle. You get the number. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The program is very interesting. Courage Immaculate, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, guys. I'm enjoying the program. I love what the Apostle said. Big Nine from Tico. Good evening to you, Big Nine. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your bestie should be your partner, no matter the problems you have. Bringing other people to your relationship or marriage has always aggravated the situation in most cases. Thanks. Renee is writing from the Middle East. Thank you, Apostle Ambe. You just clarified me on one of the revelations I had some time ago about not everything to have to tell my wife. I was thinking it was not from God, but I'm clear now. Okay. Hello, good evening, Cynthia from Boya Road, Kumba. Nice program there. Thank you, Cynthia. Hello, good evening. In the studio, you people see men click to their moms while the ladies click to their father. I think the amount of problems mothers create in their sons' home is drastic. Men would support their moms over their wives. Okay. Arise, writing from Bomenda. Good evening. I am Hans from Bonaberry. Couples should have no secrets between them. If they can share a bed together, why should they keep secrets? Couples should have access to each other's phones, accounts, and everything. If I'm doing nothing wrong, why should I keep privacy from my wife? If you keep secrets, means the couples are unfaithful.
Sure.
Now let's look at privacy and trust. Can you truly trust when you don't share everything?
Thank you so much. I think even the model, before I say anything, I want to say that Madam Edith is a very nice lady, but some of her mentalities will make her suffer. She will suffer. You see, the way she's approaching this thing, she will be hurt.
By who?
No. Anyway, it's just my personal opinion.
You are just
as a consultant.
You are just a genuine woman.
I'm a genuine woman. I should share
everything.
everything.
Is not
It's
genuine.
okay. It's okay. I was just saying. It's just my personal opinion as a consultant. Now, Mr. Liu, back to your question. Yes. There's something I want to say. Most of the times, if Christ and the church is the model which we see in the Bible, we see that it's not everything he has shared to us. Now it tells something. In fact, even as the generation of the church is evolving, you will say we even have greater and deeper revelation of Christ.
Yes.
It means there is even a progressive unveiling. Secrecy becomes a problem when it is manipulative.
Yes, manipulative.
Why? Because let's not just use some general terms here. Let's be practical. Secrecy becomes a problem when it is what? Manipulative. Now, when we start beginning to talk about secrets and how it affects, we must look at the individuals. And okay, I want to ask a question. You just said here that if somebody gets married to you and you discover some certain things, you will walk away, right? We have all agreed on those things. Now, funny thing is, that person could have still claimed that that's a secret. That's something that, because for example, you say that in a courtship, people should keep their phones away. Now, you are saying, okay, after marriage, it should come up. Now, I am not saying that people should be manipulative and try to do certain things to their partner, but we have to be realistic here. You have to be mature enough. We cannot talk about secrets at all. Even God trusts us, wants us to trust him when he has not revealed everything. Now, this is not like saying that man is God, but it's a two-way thing. And I'm saying this, and I don't want to say this just like I'm commanding but a woman. I'm saying this even at the level of the man and the woman. It means that what? There's a certain level of oppression. In fact, just sometimes just to have peace of mind, there are things that I have another tape. I always like to say this. I have another tape. Secrets in a marriage. It's a whole tape. It's a whole teaching I have. Secrets in a relationship or secrets in a marriage. It's a whole thing. The truth is, even when people start dating, I always advise them, stay clear from telling people your past. Anyhow, I'm talking about when they just start dating.
Yes.
Because why are we saying that? That's a secret. But imagine I can imagine how many people you dated before you got married. I don't want to, let's not spoil it on air because your wife might be watching now, but just imagine the number of people you dated. Imagine every one of them. Some people have dated 10 people. Every person you go, the first you go, you just open everything about yourself. It does not work like that. And now someone say, okay, now what about in marriage? Even in marriage, there's still a lot of complicated situations. Like we have mentioned some whether it's a pastor, I'm a consultant. I am the founder of DeWise Consulting. I talk to big people in this nation. I talk to pastors. I talk to little people. I talk to foreign and all of those things. Now, I expect that that my woman should be able to be mature enough to know that there are things you cannot access. And because there's some things that you should not demand. There's some things that you should be wise enough to just operate it without demanding. Because when you demand and it's denied, it becomes a problem. So what do I do? The same thing as I say, I will avoid. I don't just get up. I will not get up and pick my woman's phone and I'm trying to say, okay, what is she doing today? What is she not doing today? Because the truth is that as you are sitting here, you don't know what she's doing and what she's doing. That's just the reality of life.
Okay, Mr. Liu, the Bible says the two shall become one flesh. This one flesh is in the children that give birth to. The man is one, the woman is two. The and the woman come together. Okay, the man and the woman come together to give birth to a child, making them one flesh. Tiku Felix still writing there from Boya Apostle Ambe. You think that keeping privacy is not a potential time bomb? Because Esther just wrote from Yaoundé that my sister got married to a man. He was sick of this and never told, and finally died. Don't you think that keeping some secrets also may in the long run destroy family bonds, because people come to realize that what they believed in was not the truth?
The truth is, it takes trust to marry somebody. You will not trust the person when he comes in the house.
Thank you.
Come again.
It takes trust to marry somebody. It's not in the house that you trust the person.
Yeah.
If I thought you want to build trust in marriage after marriage, then you are not serious.
I'm serious.
So when we talk about trusting somebody when you're in the house with the person, to me it's a mirage. It doesn't exist. It is trust that builds the confidence for two individuals to conclude that we are now convinced we can spend the rest of our lives together. Now, the issue of secrets, when you talk about health, most people have to run medical tests before they get married.
Exactly.
It's one thing that we don't say it, and it is very important. And this test must be done with very sincere doctors. Because somebody can go and bribe a doctor,
Yes.
And bring
he
a
is
test.
impotent, and bring a test.
Report, yeah.
That's the reason why a church is supposed to have a particular hospital with a doctor they trust in, that they are the ones who choose the doctor you are supposed to go to for the test.
Yes.
The church.
A church, if you're supposed to be in a church, like my church has a doctor.
We trust.
If we trust, if you come, you want to get married, we don't send it to the man's doctor or to the woman's doctor. We send it to our own doctor. Somebody will know fears God. Just like American embassy, they have their doctors.
So you screen people in your church before they get married?
We screen them
Yes.
medically.
Medically, that is what we do.
The book of Experience, chapter 15, verse 22.
We
has
scream.
taught us
Huh.
that a lot of impotent people have taken advantage of our religiosity and caged our sisters in the name of marriage when nobody could get married to them in the world, because in the world they will taste it. The lady will hold your penis and then tap it to see if it's alive. But in the kingdom we are just going to say holiness unto the Lord. You don't see the brother. As a matter of fact, in church you will sometimes marry when you have not sit, you didn't sit on the same table. Because when you are going to visit the sister, you are going with the brother. And instead of coming to visit you, she comes with another sister. There is no possibility for you to access each other. So when you come to church, we send you to go and do all those tests. Pregnancy tests, HIV tests, a lot of tests, blood group tests, genetic tests, to find whether you are AS or SS.
God knows.
That one is not spirit, it's practical reality. Once they screen them,
SS resource
that
factor.
is another level of sincerity. I have a marriage case I'm handling right now. Man of about kind of 48 to 50 years, he's never been married. And I asked the lady who is my daughter, I said, ask him that, how is it possible a man at his age has never been married or has not had any relationship?
That's a problem.
So when I asked her, she asked the question, the man tried twisting it. I said, insist. The the man they said, and she realized that it has low sperm count. I see, you see, you would have been excited that a marital breakthrough has come. When you marry, you enter more prison than when you were single. So it is important for people to go through medical screening before they conclude of settling as husband and wife. I've seen a case where a girl was HIV positive and the boy was negative and the boy insisted on getting married. Now at this time, be it unto you according to your faith. We don't want to force you. It's a boy who knew. Now there's a level of sincerity there. And they got married and they've had children. And nothing has happened. Because according to the guy's faith, he was supposed to get married with the girl. When we talk about secrets in marriage, there are people who practically may not even want that marriage to stand. I know of in-laws who don't want marriages to stand. They can even pay women to go and seduce the man so that an adulterous act will occur, so the marriage will scatter. Good. Especially when the woman has been the breadwinner of that family and they don't want her to get married. Friends. Her brothers will do everything possible. Talking about relationships, it is not every challenge you have you can avoid from your friends. There are 3 kinds of relationship. You relate with a junior to impart them with knowledge. You relate with a colleague, your age group, to share ideas together. You relate with a senior for impartation. There are people who have gone through some things you are yet to go through. They must not be older than you to counsel you. Because experience sometimes in life is the best teacher. It is, somebody has gone, a girl might be your age group, and she got married before you. And then she's gone through some things in marriage, and then she has an experience in there. You start finding yourself in similar situation. Can't you just throw it to her and say, my friend, I know you've gone through this. What did you do to go out of it? Simple.
Now, how do we understand each other to know that there are certain things about our lives that we should not seek to know, but we understand that you have your secrets, I have my secrets, but we are moving along.
All right. How to walk in an understanding life, or
knowing that each
Yes.
person in a couple should keep their secrets.
Now there are things we say keep as a secret, and there are other things that you don't keep as a secret.
Okay.
Especially when it has to affect the other person negatively. Don't keep it as a secret. If it comes to health and some kind of things, you keep it as a secret, you're a criminal. And I would just tell you to divorce immediately. Because of what? You did not inform people about that. For example, you are HIV and positive, and then you hide it, and then you even go to a doctor and forge
a report.
Yes, a report, and then they come and discover it tomorrow. You separate. It's just simple. It's just simple that you cannot work. So what I think is we should know destructive things and things that cannot destroy, things that are not harmful. Those are the things that we should know how to manage them. Damage control is allowed in marriage. Damage control. You should know what to control in such a way that it's not going to hurt you. But now some of these things we keep also are very destructive to us when we keep them. Because take for example, you start cheating with a girl, and now the girl wants to possess you. The girl wants to take over, and then she starts threatening and wants you to blackmail you. Listen to this, it's obvious. At that time, there is danger. You should not keep that kind of a thing. You should not even bother to say that what I want to keep it. You just go and explain yourself and put yourself in a position where you explain yourself, and both of you will quarrel and argue and this thing, and maybe feel hurt for some period of time, and everything will be fine. But when you say that you want to hide some kind of things, especially affairs, you will find out that it becomes a problem. Especially women are very possessive. By the time they start enjoying you, by the time they start seeing some very powerful things about you, they want to destroy your marriage. They are not interested in what? Just continue in their path of enjoyment. They will want to come to destroy your marriage. Some of them will even propose that they want you to send away your wife and let them come in. Not to even say that they want to manage with your wife. They say, no, let them send. So in that kind of a case, what do? It's simple. Open up. Just try to open up. There are some things you just have to take the risk to open up and then let things go forward.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum and the panel. Your program is so inspiring. More grace to your elbow. I'm Bertrand from Malabo. I have a question for the panel. I do need help about this. I had a fiancée, or better still a girlfriend, and to be more precise, she's was my first love. We had plans to get married, and the worst of it is that we took a blood oath promising to get married, so I left the country for greener pastures, but we were still functioning, but a distance, so I don't know what went wrong. She got married to another tradition court, no church, and then divorce. Will it be right if I accept her back and get married to her because I still love her? Very briefly, because I want to read some messages. The messages are just so many.
In this case, blood pact is a very dangerous thing to do with a woman. And it has very evil agenda behind it. Now, you found yourself in that. I'll just ask you to find maybe a church where you can meet a reasonable pastor and let him pray with you and break that curse.
Yes, but the lady got married to some other person.
Yes.
And they did tradition,
yes,
and no church.
You need deliverance.
Yeah, but he's asking that this lady is divorced with a man. Should he still marry the lady?
Both of them need deliverance from blood pact.
Okay.
Blood pact is a demonic act.
Okay.
Yes. You need deliverance so that you can be free. You cannot go and marry again and remain in that bondage. That thing alone will trouble you.
Should they first deliver themselves before?
Deliver yourself before you consider whether you can marry
again
or not. Yes.
Okay. Apostle, you think so too?
Of course.
Okay. I hope you got the response out there in Malabo. Secrecy amongst couple is sometimes necessary depending on the behavior of the individual. Some may not want to know who are the friends of the other spouse, and so they may need to keep their secrets to themselves. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Boyoman in Kumba. Boyoman, good evening to you. You did not attend our last program. Yeah, Mr. Liu, good evening. Dion. And I really appreciate this discussion. I don't think there should be a privacy in marriage because they has become one. So give your idea and I give my idea and we will do a great thing. Thank you. Difficult to read some messages. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I know it's not good for couples to have privacy, but one thing I know very well is that there are things when you tell your husband or wife, it brings problem in the house. So at times couples have privacy not because it is good, but to keep peace in the house. It's B. Demisco from Bonaberi Douala. We love your program. Okay, Demisco, we love you too. Extend greetings to Bonaberi. Good evening, everyone. Pamela from Boya. Only men have issues with phone passwords, and strangely, the people representing the clergy are telling us our private parts are one, but not our phones.
Only men.
The debate is a tussle over power relation, patriarchy, and any man who can't give his phone to his wife, he's a cheat. Okay. Understand that some men, you have doctors who may be keeping some very vital information about patients. So, okay. Good evening to you, my brother Mundibeta, watching us from there in Germany. I beg tell that girl with Wuna today for your program. Give me a number, okay? I will send you the number, Mundibeta. This one says, 3 things in life you must keep secret: your love affair with your wife, your income, your way forward. Good evening. It's Yaoba Bobo writing from Yaoundé. This one says, good evening. Can you continue a relationship after you discover that your woman to be? Name your child, made him a birth certificate, and even baptize him without your knowledge. King Kem is writing from Douala. Good evening to everyone in the studio. I believe couples should keep no secrets, but people's secrets entrusted to you as a pastor should not be disclosed to your spouse, especially if your spouse cannot handle sensitive issues. In this case, you are applying wisdom. Couples have to be open and sincere to each other. He is Stanley writing from Boya. This one says, individual secrets in marriage tantamount to lack of trust. Therefore, the love between them is not real. Once there is true love, we can talk of family secrets. Okay? This one says, hi, I'm Suzanne Ara from Boya. I love your program. No, couples should not have privacy because they have now become one. It's not boyfriend and girlfriend. Good evening. This is Queen in Yaoundé. The program is very interesting. We are almost out of time. Yes, this issue of secrecy should... how do we make sure that we work with our phones without suspicion?
I would like to say that there are some things that cannot be unseen when they have been seen. There are some things that, like when we are talking here, some people might think it's an agenda. It's not a patriarchal agenda. It's rather, like I said, that's why I introduced myself, for example.
We are struggling to be real.
Yes, that's why I introduced myself. I'm not just a pastor. I am a consultant. I am a marriage counselor. I'm telling you that there are things that people entrust to you, they did not entrust to your wife. And even the wife who is getting married to such a man should know that this is the kind of man that I am doing this, and if this is the privacy, it's for this reason. You should be mature enough and trust that this is so. If you cannot trust that that's so, then there's not even need coming into the relationship. And it goes both ways. And that is why if I expect that trust, I give the trust as well, so that it is balanced. I don't know if you understand what I say. So if you expect that trust, also give that trust. Sometimes we have that problem where you expect it, but you don't give it. I don't know if you understand what I say. I think it should be both ways. There are men of different calibers, like we said, business or doctors or everything. This is the reality of life. So not everybody is just you are normal man and normal woman. But if because we know that this phone also has become a very serious problem. But the truth about the matter, for example, there are even some things that a woman can tell you later, and you are glad they did not tell you that time. You yourself, you know that if you had heard it that time,
yes,
problem for B.
Yes,
sometimes these are some. That is why even love is bridled with wisdom. Love must be bridled with wisdom. They say it's true wisdom a house is built. True wisdom, everything. He says wisdom is the principal thing, even in relationships, even in marriage. There are things that if God had revealed 100 years ago, it would have destroyed that generation. But it's been opened up to now because we can maximize it,
yes,
even as a church, and use it even in this kind of society. So I believe that what you expect from your partner, give it to them, and both of you will move together. That is what I would say.
Okay. You maintain that everything should be known. You want to know everything about your husband, and you are also very disposed to disclose everything to them.
First of all, I would like to tell our viewers that we are here to bring reality into practice. It is it is true that as a human being, it's not everything that someone will know about you. Yes. As a human being, women are very good at keeping secrets more than men. We are very secretive. A man can sit in the house and maybe somebody texts him, he smiles, and a woman sees that facial expression and she quickly knows that something is wrong somewhere. But a woman can talk to 10 or 20 different men at the same time, and even if you ask her, she'll be like, no, I'm just my friend. You'll never know it. So it's by the grace of God. I always tell people, I'm into my rehabilitation. That's what my angel is all about. I always tell people that it takes the grace of God to rehabilitate someone's mind. It takes the grace of God to change someone's mind, someone's mentality. So we are not forcing it, we're not implementing it, we're not trying to impose it on us or people out there that we should check our partners, or there should be no secrecy in our marriage. But it's something that it has to be. There's a level at which there's a privacy. There's a level at which you would check your man. But when it concerns basic things like a phone, my phone rings and I can ask my husband to pick it up and know who is calling, or to me, help me check a message. What if you're sick tomorrow? What if she has to go through your contacts to contact somebody when you're not available? It boils down to the same thing. We should just give that basic platform that we can build that trust. Because if you keep hiding your phone, means you are not. Okay. The trust is not there.
I thought I could read some messages, but no, the messages are so many, so we can't read them. And we are out of time. Thank you for coming, Pastor Fred.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful time for me to spend here with these wonderful people, arguing on some things. Let me make it clear. We are pastors, quite all right, but we try as much as possible in this program
to be real,
to be balanced. Because when we are teaching our churches, we teach our Christians differently. There are some things like the case of transparency. We teach in our churches, Christians should be transparent to their wives and things. But we are trying to talk to the case because a lot of problems are happening out there. You can pick somebody, like you just said, that you can pick somebody's phone and then a girl just start talking some kind of love thing, and you don't understand your partner for your body, they start change position. Heart transfer itself at this thing. Then it's only after you come to discover that it was not even something that was serious. So I just want to say, maybe by next week we're going to look into some other thing that are going to bless you, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much, Apostle.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. We've come to the end of the program for today. What you've heard so far is all we had to offer you. God bless you.
Thank you, Apostle Lefo.
Yes, I would like to say that it's my joy and it's my heart cry to help as many people as possible. And I want to use this opportunity to say that I am Lefo Divine, the founder and president of Device Consulting, who can a marriage counselor, and we can be able to consult and help you even in your relationship. Like I mentioned, some tapes, some audios, some messages, and even some books like Conflict in Marriage, Secrets in Marriage, Dating 101, Dating 102. Have so much of these materials that can help you. So you can contact Mr. Leo, and he will put you directly in contact with us, and we will give you so much help. Whether you are a single, you are dating, or you are in marriage, it will be my pleasure to help you. Thank you.
Thank you to Edith for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kum. I prefer calling Mr. Kum most of the times. And I am so honored to be here. I'm the only woman for now, in the midst of men of God. It's a privilege, and I really want to thank God for this opportunity. Like I earlier said, we are out here to bring reality into practice. We are not being biased. We just want to touch every corner that we feel that people are facing out there. So please do enjoy the program and stay tuned for more topics coming up.
Okay, next week, Tuesday, we are going to be touching another key aspect in relationship. It's going to be a tradition on Prime Hour every Tuesday. It's focusing on relationship. Tomorrow on Prime Hour, we are going to be going back to what is happening out there in the Northwest and Southwest regions. We know that two suspected separatist fighters were killed in Bambili today, and last week 3 chiefs were killed in Libialem. The killings are still ongoing, so tomorrow we are going to be asking whether the population can force both parties in the conflict to down their arms so that the killings can stop. We want to thank you all who took part on this edition of the program, and to those who are working behind the cameras, to you, Desmond and Eli producing the program, Bertrand and Noel. Special thanks to you guys at the broadcasting, and to you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, who is supervising our programs out here. We say, stay blessed. Bye bye.